Lost cell phone. A short karma story. A 13-year-old kid named Peter was returning home from play. On his way back home, he saw a boy crying. Peter asked that boy, "Why are you crying?" The boy wiped his tears and sobbingly said, "I lost my new cell phone. I am from a poor family, yet my father bought me a cell phone. If my father got to know that I lost my new cell phone, he will be angry. I have searched for it everywhere but couldn't find it. What will I do now?" Peter replied, "It's really sad. I can't do anything now, but if you can please give me details of your cell phone, an address too, so that if I find your cell phone, I can return it to you." Peter got details from boy and then left. Before going to home, Peter went to his friend's house. When he reached his friend's house, he found out that he was having a party. When Peter asked him for reason of party, his friend replied that he had found a new cell phone today. Peter asked him about cell phone, and after knowing about it, Peter realized that it's the cell phone of that poor kid whom he met on his way. Peter was happy to know that he found his cell phone. Peter told his friend about that poor boy and suggested that he should return it to him, but his friend refused to return that cell phone. Peter tried to convince his friend, but his friend ignored him and continued with his party. Peter felt sad and left. After a month, Peter saw his friend in park. He saw that he was crying. Peter asked his friend, "What happened? Why are you crying?" His friend replied, "I have lost my new cell phone." Peter replied, "It's okay, you are rich, you can buy a new one." His friend replied, "Yes, I am rich, but that cell phone was gifted to me by my father, and he would be very sad to hear that I lost my cell phone." Hearing this, Peter replied, "Don't worry, if anyone finds it, he will return it." Listening to this, his friend started crying again and said, "No, he won't return because I never returned cell phone of that poor kid." Peter, "Now I realized what wrong I did at that time by not returning that cell phone. I feel guilty. I still have that cell phone and want to return it to that kid." Peter was happy to hear that and went home to get address of that poor kid. Peter and his friend went to that address to return that cell phone, but there was no one. On asking to neighbors, they got to know that family left some days ago. Peter's friend felt guilty about not returning that cell phone when Peter asked him to. Moral: as you sow, so shall you reap. You get what you deserve. You must eventually face the consequences of your actions. Thank you for watching the video. Please like, share and subscribe my channel for more such stories.